Yun, which is wine. La Yashala, which means to Israel. Arch his horn. So Panyakadum, which means turn face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakutha, Kabah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathlano, Lacham, Kaliwan, Wasalachno, Kawakno, Kasalachno, Kawakno, Wala'ah, Dabayano, Bonasewan, Abal, Abashino, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wathapara, Lawulumyu, Aman. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Prayer for the power structure in the Hebrew. Rakta Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai? Why Mayaka'ala? Why Lahai? Matizabi ala wapihan. Ha ala wapi. Ha sranya. Ha pazianya. Ha chayali. Wahaf wati. Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai. The water Amun. The English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahweh Shai. And Michael. And the angels. Commanding General Yana. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Thank you. So be it. Pray for the prophesied curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel. They refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evil and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, posse comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way and try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always. So be it. It's our face to front and Shabim, which means be seated. We're going to pick up right where we left off last week, getting into Leviticus. We have made it to chapter 8, and we're going to start at verse 13. Leviticus chapter 8 and 13 in the Hebrew. Wa'karab Masha Asbunya Haran Wa'elabishum Kasnath Wa'chagrar Asum Abnat Wa'chabash Lahum Magabawas Kashar Tazwa Yahweh Asmasha. Verse 14. Wa'gash Aspar Hakata'ath Wa'samak Aharon Wabunua Athiadyahum Al Ra'ash Par Hakata'ath. Verse 15. Wa'shakat Wa'kwach Masha Asadum Wa'sun Al Korwanwath Hamazabach Sabiyab Ba'tazba'awa Wa'chata Ath Hamazabach Wa'ath Hadum Yatzak Al Yaswad Hamazabach Wa'ekwidashawa Lakapar. Verse 16. Wa'kwach Askal Achalab Ashar Al Hakurab Wa'ath Yathrath Hakabad Wa'ath Shafya Hakalyath Wa'ath Halabahan Wa'ekwatar Masha Hamazbacha. Verse 17. Wa'ath Hapar Wa'ath Irawa Wa'ath Asharwa Wa'ath Parashwa Sarat Ba'ash Machwataza Lamachana Kashar Tazwa Yahweh Af Masha. Verse 18. Wa'kurab Af Ayal Ha'ila Wa'samakwa Haran Wabunua Af Yarihum Al Ra'ash Ha'ayal. Verse 19. Wa'shakat Wa'zirak Masha Af Hadum Al Hamazabach Sabiyab. We're going to go back to the English from Leviticus 8 and 13. And Moses brought Aaron's sons and put coats upon them, and girded them with girdles, and put bonnets upon them, as the Lord commanded Moses. As we went through a few chapters ago, a few weeks ago, all the details on the priestly garments, the priestly attire. So the Lord attired all the Levites exactly according to, or Moses attired them exactly according to the Lord's commandments. Verse 14, and he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering, and he slew it. And Moses took the blood and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it to make reconciliation upon it. And he took all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys and their fat, and Moses burned it upon the altar. But the bullock and his hide, his flesh and his dung, he burnt with fire without the camp, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he brought the ram for the burnt offering. And Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he killed it. And Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. We're going to jump back into the Hebrew from verse 20. Wa'as ha'ayal, Nesach, Vanesachua, Waquatar, Masha, As Hara'ash, Wa'as Hanesachim, Wa'as HaPadar, verse 21, Wa'as HaKorab, Wa'as HaKarayim, Rachatazah, Bamayim, Waquatar, Masha, As Kol Hayal, Hamazbekah, Ayla, Ho'ah, Loriach, Nechach, Asha, Ho'ah, La Yahweh, Kashar, Tazwa, Yahweh, Asmasha, verse 22, Wayakorab, Ayal, Hashanya, Ayal, Hamalayim, Wayashamakwa, Aharan, Wabunyua, Athyadjaham, Al Ra'ash, Ayal, verse 23, Washakhat, Wayakwak, Masha, Madumwa, Waythun, Al Thunwak, Azan, Aharan, Hayamaniath, Wa'al Bahan, Yadwa, Hayamaniath, Wa'al Bahan, Regalwa, Hayamaniath, verse 24, Wa'akarab, Asbanya Haran, Wa'athun Masha, Manhadam, Al Thanawak, Azanum, Hayamaniath, Wa'al Bahan, Yadam, Hayamaniath, Wa'al Bahan, Slag Bahan, Regalum, Hayamaniath, Wa'izrak, Masha, Afadam, Al Mazbachah, Sabiyab, verse 25, Wa'akwak, Ath Hachalab, Wa'ath Ha'aliyah, Wa'ath Kol, Hachalab, Ashar Al, Hakarab, Wa'ath Yariath, Akabad, Wa'ath Shathia, Hakaliath, Wa'ath Halabhan, Wa'ath Shawak, Hayumyum, verse 26, Omasol, Hamatazuath, Ashar, Lapunya Yahweh, Lakwach, Chalath, Matzah, Achath, Wachalath, Lacham, Shemun, Achath, Warakyat, Achad, Wa'asham, Al Hachalabium, Wa'al Shawak, Hayumyun. Back to the English, from verse 20. And he cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burnt the head and the pieces and the fat, and he washed the inwards and the legs in water, and Moses burnt the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet savor, and an offering made by fire unto the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And he brought the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he slew it. And Moses took the blood of it and put it upon the tip of Aaron's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and upon the great toes of their right feet. And Moses sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat and the rump, and all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and the right shoulder. And out of the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake, and a cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat, and upon the right shoulder. And so we're seeing all these things. Remember, we're seeing these things being done in practice for the first time. The tabernacle was just built. Not, of course, not sacrificing for the first time. They've been sacrificing all the way going back to Adam. We had the laws, but these are the first times that it's being really implemented coming out of Egypt. The tabernacle was built, the altar was built, the priesthood is being established, the garments are, were created for the Levites. Everything is being formalized under Moses. So we're going to jump back to the Hebrew now. From verse 27. Wa'athan ath hakahal al kapya aharon wa al kapya banyua wa'inat athum Tanopah Lapunya Yahweh, verse 28. Wa'ekwach Masha Athum Ma'al Kapyahum Wa'ekotar Hamazabcha Al Ha'ila Malayam Hum Lariach Nayachak Asha Wa'al Yahweh, verse 29. Wa'ekwach Masha Hachazah Wayeni Apawa, Tanopah, Lapunya Yahweh, Ma'ayal, Hamalayim, Lamasha, Haya, Lamana, Kashar, Tazawah, Yahweh, Masha, verse 30, Wayakwak, Masha, Mashman, Hamashakan, Salaki Hamashka, Waman, Hadam, Ashar, Al Hamazabach, Salaki Al Hamazabach, Wayaz, Al Haran, Al Bagadua, Wa Al Bunua, Wa Al Bagadya, Bunua, Athwa, Wayakodash, Atha Haran, Ath Bagadua, Wath Bunua, Wath Bagadya, Bunua, Athwa. Verse 31, wa Yamar, Masha, Ala Haran, wa Al Bunua, Bashar, wa Ash, Ath Habashar, Pathach, Ahal, Mo'aid, wa Shum, Takalwa, Athwa, wa Ath Halacham, Ashar, Basal, Hamalayim, Kashar, Hazawayathia, La Umar, Aharan, Wa Bunua, Wa Kalwa. Verse 32. Wahanuathwa, Wahanuathar, Abashar, Wabalacham, Ba'ash, Asharapwa, verse 33. Wamakathach, Ahal, Wa'aid, La'ah, Letzawa, Shabaith, Yum Yum, Aiduwum, Malath, Yum Ya, Malayakam, Kaya, Shabaith, Yum Yum, Yamala, Athiadikum. And we're going to jump back to the English from verse 27. And put all upon Aaron's hands and upon his son's hands, and wave them for a wave off before the Lord. So this is after he took the unleavened bread and the cakes. Verse 28, and Moses took them from off their hands and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were consecrations for a sweet savor. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And Moses took the breast and waved it for a wave offering before the Lord. For of the ram of consecration it was Moses' part, as the Lord commanded Moses. And Moses took of the anointing oil and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aaron and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. And Moses said unto Aaron and to his sons, boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and there eat it with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And that which remaineth of the flesh and of the bread shall ye burn with fire. And ye shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation in 7 days until the days of your consecration be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. And this word consecrate, the concept behind that is just is separating and fulfilling. If you go into the scripture, if you go into the Hebrew word malah, it's very often it's translated as fulfill, completed. So it's like he's completing the process of making these men priests. Verse 33, and ye shall not, verse 34, Salakia. No, we're going back to the Hebrew for verse 34. Kashar, Aisha, Bayawam, Hazat, Hazawah, Yahweh, La'aishath, La'kapar, Aliakum, verse 35, Wapasach, Ahal, Mo'aid, the Shabwa, Yomum, Layla, Shabaith, Yom Yom, Washmarathum, Ath, Mashmarath, Yahweh, Wala'ah, the Muwathwa, Kaya, Khan, Tazwiyathia, verse 36, Swaya Aisha, Aharon, Wabunywa Athkal, Adabarium, Bashar Tazwa, Yahweh, Bayad Masha, chapter 9 and verse 1, Wayahaya Bayawam, Hashem Yanya, Korah, Mashal, Aharon, Walabunywa, Walazaquanya, Yasha'ala, verse 2, Wayamar, Alaharan, Kwak Laka, Igal, Bun Bakwar, Lakatath, Wa'ayal, Laila, Damiyam, Wa'karab, Lapunya Yahweh, verse 3, Wa'al Bunya Yasha'ala, Dadabar, La'amar, Kwakwa, Shayar, Izim, Lakatath, Waigal, Bakbash, Bunya, Shina, Damyum, Laila, verse 4, Bashwar, Wayal, Ashalamyum, Lazabach, Lapunya Yahweh, Wamanacha, Wallah, Bashman, Kaya, Hayawam, Yahweh, Nara'ah, Aliakum. Back to the English from 34. As he hath done this day, so the Lord hath commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore shall ye abide at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, day and night, 7 days, and keep the charge of the Lord, that ye die not, for so I am commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all things which the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses. And so this was the consecration, this was the completion of anointing the priests and setting up the priesthood and the sacrifices in the newly built tabernacle. Chapter 9, verse 1. And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel, and he said unto Aaron, take thee a young calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering without blemish, and offer them before the Lord. And unto the children of Israel thou shalt speak, saying, take ye a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both of the first year without blemish, for a burnt offering. Also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings to sacrifice before the Lord, and a meat offering mingled with oil. For today the Lord will appear unto you. We're going to jump back to the Hebrew. Shout out to everybody joining us in the chat. Shout out to Asa, Princess Zamina, Elder Charles, Officer Mariah Allah. Shout out to everybody joining us. We're going to keep going. We're down to, of course, every week we go consecutively through scriptures. We do 7 sets of 7 verses. So 49 verses. We down to our 5th set today. So we're going to jump back to the Hebrew and pick it up at Leviticus 9 and verse 5. Wayakwakwa athashar tazwa masha al punya hall mo'aid wayakarabwa call ha'aida wayamadwa lapunya hawa, verse 6. And that phrase that we keep on seeing, lapunya hawa, that's before the Most High. Lapunya is literally like to his face. So that's saying you doing it, you standing in front of the Lord doing it. Verse 6. Wayamar masha za hadabar ashar tazwa Yahweh the Aishwa wayara aliyakum kabawad Yahweh. Verse 7. Wayamar masha ala haran korab al hamazbach wa Aisha ath hataathka wa ilathka wa kapar ba'idka wa ba'id ha'aim wa Aisha ath korban ha'aim wa kapar ba'idam kashar tazwa Yahweh. Verse 8. Wa korab aharon al hamazbach wa shechat ath aigal hachatath asharlawa. Verse 9. Wa korabwa banya haran ath hadam aliwa wa tabal atazbaiwa badum wa thun al koranwath hamazbach wa ath hadam yatzak al yaswad hamazbach. Verse 10. Wa ath hachalab wa ath hakalyath wa ath hayathrath man hakabad man hakatath hakwatiyar hamazbcha kashar zawa Yahweh ath masha. Verse 11. Wa ath habashar wa ath ha'aiwar sarat ba'ash makwatza machana. And we're going to come back to the English from verse 5. And they brought that which Moses commanded before the tabernacle of the congregation. And all the congregation drew near and stood before the Lord. And Moses said, This is the thing which the Lord commanded that ye shall do, and the glory of the Lord shall appear unto you. And Moses said unto Aaron, Go unto the altar and offer thy sin offering and thy burnt offering, and make an atonement for thyself and for the people, and offer the offering of the people, and make an atonement for them as the Lord commanded. Aaron therefore went unto the altar and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron brought the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. But the fat and the kidneys and the caul above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the flesh and the hide he burnt with fire without the camp. Verse 12 in the Hebrew. Shachat ath ha'ila matzawa ban yaharan aliwa ath hadam wa'izrakawa al mazbacha salaki al hamazbach sabiyab. Verse 13. Wa'ath ha'ila hamatziawa aliwa lanathakiwa salaki lanathacha wa'ath ha'ra'ash wa'ikwatar al hamazbach. Verse 14. Wa'irachatza ath hakarab wa'ath hakarayim Waikatar, Al Ha'ila, Hamazbaka, verse 15, Waikarab, Ath Korban, Ha'aim, Waikwach, Ath Sh'ayar, Hakatath, Ashar, La'aim, Waishakatath, Waishaktawa, Waikatawa, Karashwan, verse 16, Waikurab, Ath Ha'ila, Waiaisha, Kamshapat, verse 17, Waikurab, Ath Hamanakah, Wayamala, Kapwa, Mamana, Waikwatar, Al Hamazbach, Malabad, Ilach, Habakwar, verse 18, Waishakat, Ath Hashwar, Wa'ath Hayal, Zabach, Hashalomyum, Mashar, La'aim, Waimatzawa, Banya Harun, Ath Hadam, Aliwa, Waizokawa, Al Hamazabach, Sabiyab. I'm going to jump back to the English from verse 11, or verse 12, Salakia. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled round about upon the altar. And they presented the burnt offering unto him with the pieces thereof, and the head, and he burnt them upon the altar. And he did wash the inwards and the legs, and burnt them upon the burnt offering on the altar. And he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and slew it, and offered it for sin as the first. And he brought the burnt offering, and offered it according to the manner. And he brought the meat offering, and took an handful thereof, and burnt it upon the altar beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. He slew also the bullock and the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. So we're going to go into the last set here. And of course, I hope everybody's following along, whether you have an interlinear Bible, whether you have a Tanakh in front of you, whatever you have, whatever way that you have of following along in the Hebrew, because we have to learn this. We have to take our culture back. We have to make this, we have to, this thing is deep. This thing is deep, man. This is our culture, and it's something real, and it's something that flows through every aspect of life. And it's imperative that we take this seriously. The Ishman that calls himself the Jew takes it seriously, and seriously screws it up. So we got to take it back seriously in the righteous way. But every part of what we do is important. And on Friday nights, in every ISUBK zone, there's a Hebrew class being taught live. It's live online. And the idea is to connect the two. What you learn on Friday, you practice or you recognize or you implement on Saturday at the Sabbath service. And so we're going to jump back into the Hebrew, verse 19. Wa'ath, ha'chalabyum, man hashwar, wa man ha'ayal, ha'aliyah, wa ha'makazah, wa ha'kaliyath, wa ha'itharath, ha'kabad, verse 20. Wa ha'shyamwa, ha'chalabyum, ha'chazwath, wa ha'kwatar, ha'chalabyum, Hamazbakah, verse 21, Wa'ath, Achazwath, Wa'ath Shawak, Hayamyun, Haniyap, Aran, Tanupal, Lapani Yahweh, Kashar, Tazawah, Masha, verse 22, Waisha, Haran, Athiadwa, Al Ha'im, Barakam, Wairad, Ma'aishath, Hakatath, Waha'ila, Wahashalamyum, verse 23, Waiba'ah, Masha, Waharan, Allahal, Mo'ad, Waitazawa, Waibarakwa, Atha'im, Wairah, Kabwad, Yahweh al-Kal Ha'im, verse 24, Wathatzah, Ash, Malapunya, Yahweh, Wathakal, Al-Hamazabakah, Salaki Al-Hamazabak, Atha'ila, Wa'ath Achalabium, Wairah, Kal Ha'im, Wairunwa, Waipalwa, Al Punyahum, verse chapter 10 and verse 1, Waikwakwa, Bunya, Aharun, Nadab, Wa'abiyah, Wa'ah, Ayash, Hakathathwa, Wayathunwa, Bahun, Ash, Wayashiyamwa, Aliyah, Quatrath, Waikarabwa, Lapunya Yahweh, Ash Zerah, Ashar, La'ad Tazawah, Athum. And this is going to be, as we go back into the English, this is going to be the one thing that really stands out in the set that we did today is this story of Nadab and Abihu, which we're going to actually continue next week, because this is the last verse for this week. But these were two sons of Aaron that thought that they were going to do their own thing, which perfectly ties into everything that we've seen out all around us today. We're going to go read it in the English first. I just wanted to stress that word, Zerah. That is the word that's going to be translated as strange in the English, but could also be considered profane, foreign. So we're going to come back to that. But back to the English from verse 19. And the fat of the bullock and of the ram, the rump, and that which covered the inwards, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver, and they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. And the breasts and the right shoulder Aaron waved for a wave offering before the Lord, as Moses commanded. And Aaron lifted up his hand toward the people and blessed them, and came down from offering the sin offering and the burnt offering and the peace offerings. And Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle of the congregation and came out and blessed the people. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the people. And there came a fire out from before the Lord and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which when all the people saw, they shouted and fell on their faces. And so that, when it was said earlier that they were going to, the glory of the Lord was going to appear to the people, this is that coming to pass. They did everything they were supposed to do. They came, they brought the sacrifices. Moses consecrated the priests. The priests performed their duties. And the glory of the Lord was seen because the fire came out and consumed it right in front of their faces. And the people, when they saw that, they shouted and fell on their faces because they knew that they had just seen an act of God. And they knew through seeing this that God was giving them these laws through Moses. All these signs were done through Moses. Everywhere in the scriptures that you see the Lord doing signs is in order. He's doing them through somebody to let you know who he's with. The Lord's not just going to float down and tell you what to do face to face. The Lord lets you know who he's with, and your job is to follow that person and those people. It's that simple. It's always been the case all throughout the scriptures. And it's never been the Lord's with him and the Lord's with him, even though they're doing two different things. You've never seen that in the Bible. You never see that one time. And that's key this week because the Lord's showing it again. He's showing it again and again every time people go out there and do their own thing, put on a garment or a fringy t-shirt, print out a copy of the 12 tribes sign and go out on the street and do something that they call a camp. The Lord keeps showing who he's with and who he's not with. Because you got Christians running up on these people and clowning them. And that's never happened in the history. Anybody that grew up in New York, grew up in any major city, you know anything about the Israelites, ain't nobody gonna come up and beat them in a debate in the street. That's unthinkable. Ain't nobody gonna run up on them and have them standing there speechless. That's incomprehensible. See, these guys out here are embarrassing the whole concept. They're changing what people look at Israelites as. And that's why it's our job in the Isupk to go out there and let everybody know those guys they're not with us. That's why we call them fake Israelites. That's why it's our job to let everybody know that there's a difference, that we're not with those guys that just got embarrassed by some Christians and some Muslims in the middle of the street. They're not with us. And because they're not with us, the Lord is not with them. This is not something mystical or spooky. It's just as simple as this thing was given and passed down, and if you go off and do your own thing because you want to say that the Sabbath is on Wednesday and the day starts in the morning, then there's consequences for that. And the consequence is you're gonna look like an idiot on a viral video. And those are the lighter consequences, because what do we hear all the time coming out of these camps? Stories of adultery, stories of homosexuality, stories of all types of degeneracy. So that's almost a light punishment, looking stupid in front of a Muslim. But the Lord is going to show who he's with and who he's not with. And then what happened when Captain Tazariot goes out there to debate this inspiring philosophy guy? He obliterates him. He wipes the floor with him. Because the Lord is showing you can't just call yourself an Israelite and do whatever you want to do. Just like Nadab and Abihu here, they put incense that they wanted to put. They put strange fire before the Lord, is what it says. But let's read this verse again. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer and put fire therein and put incense thereon and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. So they offered something that was not what the Lord commanded. They thought they was going to do their thing. Now that's Christianity in a nutshell. It's also fake Israelitism in a nutshell. You say, well, the Lord knows my heart. I'm doing this for God. I'm doing it for God. So the Lord knows my heart. The Lord knew Nadab and Abihu's heart, and he killed them on the spot. Your job on this earth is to do what God told you to do. That's it. It's that simple. If you do something for your own vainglory, if you do something to make yourself feel good, if you do something to make yourself look like you know something that everybody else doesn't know, if you do something because you want to be a leader of a group and you don't want to follow no man, if you do these things, you're going to be made an example of by the Most High. And you can't say we didn't warn you. That's going to be it for this week. I imagine him up here. Paul, which means horn. Charlotte, which means to Israel. Macho. Room. So, which means stand, turn, face east. Let's say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanaw, Shvashamayim, Kodash Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Tabaa, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanano, Lacham, Kalyum, Masalachano, Kawakno, Kasalachno, Kawakino, Wala'ah, Tabiano. When I say one, Abal, Hawashino, Mayun, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wathapara, Babylonium, Amun. In the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Prayer for the power structure in the Hebrew. Rakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazabi Allah Wapyahana, Ha Wapyam, Ha Sranyam, Ha Kosyanyam, Ha Khalyalyam, Wa Ha Wakim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, the Wada Aman. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Prayer for the prophesied curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel they refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations, their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, posse comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth, and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. Sorry, face the front. Give one courtesy salute. And of Israel, I'm Madim Sabbath. I'm Madim Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakathum. Yajmatah. That concludes the Sabbath service. We're going to pick it right up next week in Leviticus chapter 10 and verse 2. And I can't wait.